Hi, Kush. It's lovely to chat with you after a fantastic Spanish Grand Prix weekend. I know Spain is not one of your most favorite circuits, but how do you feel after scoring, 16 points through the Grand Prix weekend, your second highest points haul at any race this season? How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like the start to this championship hasn't really shown the real speed we've had. Like, qualifying in Barcelona was tricky for us because we had a small issue. Um, yeah, small issue which, we had no control over, team or I, and we only found out after, but it probably costed me close to a front row start. Luckily, we were in the bubble to uh, Luckily, we were in the bubble to start P1 in the sprint race, but obviously the main points are the feature race. And again, I feel we should have been fighting a lot higher up than where we were.
You actually just thrown out a lot of points. So I'm going to go step by step. The first thing is there were lots of speculation. Jack Doohan turned up and said Kush was driving with a broken chassis, a cracked chassis in Imola and Monaco. And hence social media chatter was like, does Kush really have a competitive car? How did the car actually feel in Spain for you?
Yeah, obviously, I'm not going to comment on anything regards to what Jack said, but no, the car feels really fast and in quali and throughout the weekend, it had really good pace. Just obviously that small issue in qualifying costed us a lot. But I think we still made the most of it, and to leave, to qualify 10th and to leave the weekend with 16 points, I'm quite happy with. So yeah.
Again, let's celebrate one of the high moments because you returned to the podium after your last podium, which was a sprint race in Australia. I know a lot of people firstly want to talk about your incident with Gabriel Bortoleto, but I would want to focus on the high moment, the opening lap of the sprint race. You made all the moves and then sort of held position. But is it fair to say that you sort of had a Lando Norris's kind of moment where you were starting from P1, couldn't keep P1 on the opening lap, and then just couldn't get the lead back? So, what actually happened at the start?
Yeah, just a slight driver error. Obviously, starts are very sensitive in Formula 2, and a small jinx on the throttle can cause the engine to rev too high, and you basically wheel spin. So it was a driver error. The team have set up really good starts for me this year, and it was really the first start I messed up from my side. And unfortunately, that costed us. Obviously, I was down to P4, P5 straight away. I think P5 it was. And then obviously, I passed Gabriel on lap one and then passed Korea lap two. Got back into P3, had really, really good pace. Definitely like setting purple sectors, definitely one of the quickest on the track. But unfortunately, I got Miata, and then I was stuck behind his gearbox. And what happens is, especially on tracks like this, when you get stuck behind someone so close for more than 3, 4 laps, it just kills your momentum, kills your front tires. And then unfortunately, you drive to the speed of the guy in front of you. And I couldn't get past him. It's a tough track to pass, and the wind on the straight wasn't strong enough, so the DRS wasn't working at its most efficient. So that meant I was just stuck behind him. And then my team told me that he had a 10-second penalty. So I decided just to play it safe and finish P2. I do believe if we had got into the lead, I had the car to just pull away and win that race for sure. And at least if we were P2, we could have challenged Victor a bit more, in my opinion. But the car felt great that race. And yeah, just lost the win, unfortunately, due to a small error in the start from my side.
And that's actually very honest of you because you normally have had some really blistering starts in the early races of the season. So I'm sure the team and you sort of figured it out what happened, and these things always happen. Also, great insight about the DRS not being as efficient and that you were forced to run to Miata space. But there's this beautiful picture of Bruno Famin, the team principal of the Alpine F1 team, with you and Victor Martins, who of course finished first as well. So it was an Alpine 1-2 for the junior academy drivers. What did Bruno tell you post race?
Oh, he just said good job. Obviously, if you see the picture, I'm not the happiest because straight after the race, I was a bit frustrated. I think, you know, the car was great, and I think the team deserved to win that race. And yeah, I just felt like it slipped out of our hands. So I was still a bit frustrated, but Bruno was obviously happy with the 1-2, and he just congratulated us. We took a quick picture, and Victor and I left for the podium. But no, Bruno's always very supportive. You know, I see him after my weekend finishes. I normally go watch F1 from the Alpine um, garage. And after the race, I say a few words to Bruno, and we always have a good chat. And he always has time for the academy drivers, which is great from his side.
What really happened out there between you and Gabriel?
Yeah, obviously I was in the other strategy, and I saw that you know the reason I came on the radio and said that was uh, because I knew if I was going to get Hadja, he's going to have to let me pass. Like I can't be stuck behind him, and then there's no chance of getting Hadja. So the only possibility was him moving over, which I tried. You know, I tried my luck, and I said, look, I think I can get Hadja if he moves over now. Uh, can you give me a chance? And the team came back really nice and said, obviously no, because it is Formula 2, it's not Formula 1. And I completely understood that. They didn't show a lot of it, I think when I sent the radio message of can I catch up to Haja, they only showed my engineer saying let's go for it. But actually it was just like let's go for it. And before that he just said let's just do our race, because at the end, I completely understand it's Formula 2, every driver for themselves. And as soon as he said that, I put my head down and I responded saying no worries. And obviously got him into the last lap. Yeah, went around the outside. Obviously, I had a grip advantage, so I braked really late. Tried to keep up with me on the brakes, and I don't think it's definitely not intentional what he did, but obviously he lost his line a bit, and then we had some contact. So yeah, not the best moment for the team, and scary moment for the team. But straight after the race, he came and apologized, and we're absolutely fine. Straight after that, I was not angry at all. It's racing, and when you're going so fast and you're racing so close, these things happen.
Were you surprised though that your teammate had the harshest defense against you, against all the other drivers?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, he wants to beat me really badly, and we're all racing for our careers here. So I think obviously for the team it's not the best, but and we both have a lot of respect for the team, and I don't think we're going to see that happen again this year. But no, I'm not really surprised.
The team also went onto the radio much later and you said, we discussed about it this morning and, whatever they said. Was this actually discussed in the pre-race debrief that this could be a situation with you, all the alternate strategy, how the scenarios would play out? Or was it just discussed that this could happen and just don't do whatever you need to do, but don't make contact?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember discussing it. I think maybe it was just him and his engineer. Obviously, we don't do all the meetings together. I can speak to my engineer without him being around. So maybe it was something they discussed. Obviously, me starting 10 was more unlikely for me to be racing in that race. But unfortunately, he struggled with something, and he didn't really have the pace, so we ended up catching him. But yeah, like I said, we didn't really discuss this exactly.
And then to the more crucial point, did you pick up any car damage, and how will you know that it's all okay for Austria?
No, I mean it all should be fine. It wasn't a huge hit. Normally, a big crash or a curb or something like that can really damage the car internally. But something like this shouldn't be an issue at all. So this will just be a few battle scars and a bit of polish, and should be as good as new again.
Fingers crossed that you don't have any car damage and that whatever engine setting issues that you faced after qualifying give you a strong package again for Austria? Because you have been on the pace before. And like I always tell people, you're probably one of the quickest drivers on the single lap. But how's the energy for Austria? Because you and I met a couple of weeks ago in Austria for your first ever Formula One test with the Alpine F1 team. You've just, I believe, come off the simulator a few hours ago. How are your preparations looking up to Austria?
Oh, good. Last year we qualified fourth in Austria. It's a track I go around. Um, Obviously, race pace in Barcelona looked very strong. Barcelona was actually one of my worst weekends last year. Uh, it turned out to be a decent one this year, with decent race, both one lap and race runs. So I'm excited to get into this, uh, kind of 4 races in 5 weeks. We have some great tracks like Austria, Silverstone, Hungary, Spa, all tracks I really like. Really enjoy driving around. So it's going to be an exciting 5 weeks, and it's really going to put this year's championship into perspective.
Wish you all the best, Kush, and thank you very much for your time while you've been on the highway. I know Warren, your physio has been driving you, but I will look forward to catching you through
Yeah,
pretty much
gonna say hi to Ray.
Hey guys.
Hi. I look forward to catching you pretty much every day off the Austrian Grand Prix weekend if your schedule permits. But thank you so much and wish you all the best.
No, I'll do my best. Obviously, a lot depends on the day and what's happening with the engineering side, as that'll always take priority. But I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's supported me this year and keep supporting me. And yeah, thank you so much, and it means a lot.
Absolutely. And to your defense, Kush has always tried to have this conversation. Sometimes it's like closer to midnight and he's like, bro, I'm now needing to sleep. And I'm like, of course, you need to focus on your recovery for every, day of the race weekend. But thank you, Kush, for always trying to make time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it a lot and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.